Thanks everyone for coming here today. I have one simple question to you. How many times do you think you're allowed to start over and be a beginner again? Once, twice, 5 times, maybe 10? We were taught that if it doesn't work out after a few tries, maybe it's just not yours. But reality is different. James Dyson made 5,126 failed prototypes before he made a product that made him successful. Walt Disney was once told he lacked imagination. And later on, he built one of the most famous animation empires in the world, Disney. Howard Schultz was rejected by 200 and more investors before growing Starbucks. And J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter was accepted. And I was a beginner many times in my entire life. I was a beginner when I studied computer science and applied for my internship abroad, and I had no idea what I'm stepping into. I was a beginner when I got my first job as a developer. And I was even a beginner when I became an entrepreneur. And then an entire new world opened up in front of me all at once. Was I scared? Yes, of course. Every single time. But did I lead with confidence? Also, yes. And here, what I know for sure. Would I be satisfied with where I am if I hadn't tried in the first place? Would I be happy enough if I didn't go through every moment as a beginner? Definitely no. That's why I have one simple rule in my life. If I'm scared, I go first. If there's a chance to be taken, I'll be the first one to take it. If their goal lies outside of my comfort zone, I'll be the first one to jump out of it. And the rule is simple. Go first. Because every single one of those moments started the same way, with an opportunity in front of me that I could see. And when opportunity comes to you, you can see it too, and then you have to choose. Wait until you feel ready, or go first and take it right away. I will always choose go first. At some point in life, you has had or will have an opportunity that could change everything. But opportunity only matter if you're open enough to take them, and no one will take that step for you. You have to be brave enough to take it yourself. So, if you live life that you don't like, and the people around you, or the version of yourself that exists today, you have to ask yourself, what did they do to change it? And when you begin, you will make mistakes. That's not the failure, this is the path. You cannot skip it, you cannot grow without it. And everyone who has ever achieved something meaningful has walked this path first. But let me confess something here. The first time I built my company, I failed. I went back to software development, and I do remember telling myself that day, maybe I'm just not made for that. And for a long time, I didn't talk about that. Not because I failed, not because I was ashamed of failing, but because when something almost worked out, it could be even more painful if you had never even tried in the first place. But let me take you back. Imagine me launching JOIDY, my company, for the first time. We were sitting in my parents' apartment in my room with a group of friends, and later on they became my team. We had nothing ready. We were focusing on things like what our logo should look like, maybe we should change the color of our website, and what does even JOIDY mean? And for a while, it was everything. And then it happened. Our first real client. Not the logo for some pennies or the website for 2 pages, the long-term contract. And I had this dangerous thought. That's it. I made it. I truly believed if I got one client, the next one would be easier. I do remember telling someone in my team, if we would call 30 more people, we'll close another deal. And then we called those 30 people. Guess what happened next? You're right. Nothing. I was so afraid of starting, of quitting my job, of changing my path, of losing financial security. But here, what nobody will tell you. Starting is actually an easy part. It takes you a few days. You pick the name, design a logo and website, done. The hard part is growing it, is building the process that delivers result, not relying on luck. And I got unlucky. And I mistaken luck for skill. So I went back to software development and I shut down JOIDY, and it was a painful decision for me. But I worked in big companies, small startups, and I learned how business works, how to find clients, how to lead people. And actually I enjoyed it. But the whole time I felt like something was missing, like some parts of me just wasn't there. And I knew I could start again. Definitely. And I had knowledge, I had foundation, but I kept thinking. I kept thinking that I'm not ready yet. Soon I'll be good enough. So I kept learning, I kept reading book, and I waited. And in the waiting, I found my only real regret. The sooner you start your idea, the sooner you know if it's successful. So do it scared, start. And I started again. Did everything went smoothly? Of course not. I made so many mistakes. I'm basically an expert of that by now. And I hired someone that I liked, not because they were right for the position. And that lesson was costly. And sales process, that one took me 2 years running from meeting to meeting, fixing mistakes, and all over again. 2 years to realize how it's supposed to be. And I can go on with those stories for hours. And every story cost me months, cost me money, especially at the beginning. So, if you have an idea, you haven't started, or something you shut down and haven't gone back to, I want you to hear this. You're not behind, you're not too late, and that's not the point. The only real mistake is letting fear to make decisions for you that could cost you years. So start fast, start authentic, because that's the only thing that actually matters. And here I am, a beginner again. Some months ago, I started something completely new in AI, and I had no idea how to land. So, but here is the beauty. You can be a beginner as many times as you want. You can start over as many times as you need. So be a beginner, do it fast, do it scared, win, or fail and start again. Thank you.